Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian Land, and today I'm gonna give you my honest opinion and explain what has gone wrong with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm gonna explain how this entire movie could have been a huge masterpiece if they had just included one scene in the film. Now this video I'm gonna keep it sponsor free because I want this to be more like a conversation between you and me, rather than shoving my opinions down your throat. Let's work together finding the missing element in this film, and let's see if we can agree on that altogether. Now in this video I'm gonna ask you two questions, and before I answer them, I want you to think of an answer yourself, and then check if both of our answers match. If they do, then we're on the same page. If not, I guess we'll just agree to disagree. Now my first question to you guys before I start talking about this film: why do you think we care about our Stephen Strange from the main universe so much more than his alternate versions? Now while you try to answer that question, let me explain the basic premise of this film. It starts off showing us America Chavez, who possesses a power that even she can't control. When she gets really afraid and faces imminent danger, she opens portals between universes and can basically travel through the multiverse. That's her power, but she just can't do it at will. Now Wanda, who is still upset about losing her fake twins, got corrupted by the Darkhold and now wants to travel to another universe where her kids exist for real. And in order to be able to do that, she would need to harness America Chavez's power, and that's why she's after Chavez. Now the catch here is, if Wanda does absorb America Chavez's power, it wouldn't just rip Chavez of her powers, it would actually kill her. That's why Chavez goes to Steven, who then helps her learn to control her powers and use it at will. And now having learned how to use her powers, Chavez gives Wanda what she wants. She takes Wanda to another universe, where Wanda realizes her kids are doing just fine with their original mother. And with this realization, Wanda sacrifices herself because of all the damage she has caused already. And that's pretty much the basic idea of this film. Now let's go back to the question I asked you. Why do you think we care about our Stephen Strange much more than his alternate versions? Well, the answer is because we've been seeing our Steven evolve since 2016 in the real world. We connect to him because we see him all the time. We know the struggles, we know the sacrifices he made, and most importantly, we've seen them visually. It didn't just happen off screen, so it's obvious we would connect to our Stephen Strange more than we would connect to Steven from 838 universe or the Strange with the ponytail, aka Defender Strange. And the same goes for Wanda. We've been seeing her character arc since Avengers Age of Ultron, and the show WandaVision just made us fall in love with her character even more. Now if you agree with my answer, then you would also agree that this is the very reason we as an audience didn't care enough whether or not America Chavez survives. We just didn't see her enough in the MCU. Even the plot didn't give the audience enough time to develop a connection to her character. So it felt a bit strange that our Steven, who was literally ready to sacrifice Peter or Tony if it meant saving the universe, now all of a sudden cares about a kid he only met yesterday.
You have to understand, if it comes to saving you, or the kid, or the time stone, I will not hesitate to let either of you die.
Even Wanda raises the same question in the film. In Infinity War, Strange didn't give up the Time Stone to save Tony. He did that because that led us to the events of Endgame. His character remains consistent in Spider-Man No Way Home, and even at the beginning of this film, where Defender Strange was ready to sacrifice America to save the multiverse from Wanda. Because every Doctor Strange has one common motto, and that is, in the grand calculus of the multiverse, their sacrifice means far more than their deaths. So what this movie essentially lacked was a scene where Steven tells Wong or someone else that he doesn't care whether America lives or dies, that he doesn't care that she's just a kid. But what he does care about though is if Wanda gets America's power, she will literally enslave the entire multiverse. We do get a scene like this in Kamartaj where Strange talks about Wanda, and I quote, "She took over a whole town using her mind, and if she gets America's power, she could enslave the entire multiverse." This scene almost fixed what's wrong with this film, except it didn't because it ended there. The scene should have continued where Steven makes it clear that he's not doing all this just to protect a kid he met yesterday. Instead, he's doing all this to protect the multiverse from being ruled by a witch. That is a bigger motive, and that would have made the entire battle between Strange and Wanda a bit personal, wouldn't it? I mean, if you think about it, in this entire film, Wanda and Strange didn't have any personal rift between them. Neither did Wanda threaten someone Strange loves, nor did Strange make a threat to Wanda that he will kill her. That's the part that's been missing in this film. The fight between the villain and the protagonist just didn't have a higher stake. But of course, if you love America Chavez, the film would work for you. But we weren't given enough time to fall in love with her character, and this could have been handled well if the fight was personal instead of making it all about protecting Chavez. Okay, imagine if they did this. In order to get America's power, Scarlet Witch holds Christine hostage, tortures her to a level where she's almost dead, and that would be devastating for our Steven. Yes, Strange and Christine are not together anymore, but Strange still loves her more than anyone else, so any threat on her life, Strange will take it personally. Now let's talk about the ending of this film, but before that, let me ask you my second question. Why do you think people rate Captain America the Winter Soldier so highly despite having a pretty average origin story in the preceding film? film. The reason Captain America the Winter Soldier is relevant here is because that was also a sequel to an origin story like this film. Now, to answer the question, this film worked because it brought back people from Captain America's past life who we have seen previously and turned them into villains, so it had a huge emotional connection there. Cap was fighting Bucky, but then decided he won't fight him anymore because he had promised Bucky he will be with him till the end of the line. The entire plot revolved around Cap. The focus wasn't on Bucky, the focus was still on Cap, and they also used this movie to introduce Sam Wilson's Falcon, but it didn't overshadow the main character at all. But in this film, when Strange inspires America Chavez and tells her that she can control her power if she puts her mind to it, took the attention away from Strange immediately, because that's when it became a battle between Wanda and America, not Wanda and Strange. I wouldn't have minded if Strange had figured a way to harness America's power without killing her, and use that power to show Wanda that she is wrong, and that would have established that our Doctor Strange can do things that other versions of him can't. The movie felt more focused on introducing America Chavez into the MCU rather than breaking and building Steven. And to be very honest, the only moment in the film where I literally got goosebumps was when Strange said to Christine, "I love you in every universe." Why do you think the audience resonated with that dialogue more than the rest of the film? It's because it is between Steven and Christine, and we would have loved to see more of it. In fact, I think it would have been better if Steven slowly started caring about America rather than liking her from the first scene, and the stage was perfectly set for that too, but they just didn't execute it well. Let me explain what I mean by that. In the middle of the movie, after Strange saves America inside the Illuminati HQ, America runs towards him and hugs him, almost as if she finally found a guardian who cares for her, and Benedict Cumberbatch acted that scene so perfectly too. He was surprised that America trusted him so much, and in this very intimate moment, Strange could have said, "You know what, kid, till now I was doing all this to stop Wanda from taking control of the multiverse, but I think now I'm gonna stop her because I won't let you die." And that character arc would have justified the entire third act far better than it did now. I guess what I'm trying to say is clear and simple. If I watch a movie with a character's name on it, and it's not an origin story, I want to see more of the character's personal journey. I want to see how Doctor Strange in the 838 universe got corrupted by the Darkhold. I want to see how he fought Thanos in his universe. And I want to see how this version of Strange turned evil because he didn't get Christine. Don't just tell me all this happened through a few dialogues, and expect me to imagine something that happened off screen. Show us visually, it is his film. It would make sense if we see more of him. I mean, Marvel leaves a lot of things to our own interpretation, I understand that, but at the same time we were being spoon-fed some of the stuff we could have done without. And I really hope someone from Marvel's team watches this video. I hope they don't just make a film to introduce a character. Don't get me wrong, there's no problem in introducing a new character, but don't make the whole plot depend on it. Break the protagonist of the film into pieces, bring him to his knees, and then make him stand again in the third act. Or maybe give us a tragic ending like Infinity War entirely. Let us see our hero suffer for something that he did, not for something someone else did. Doctor Strange, who has powers like no one else, let us visually see what happens when someone with that level of power turns evil, instead of telling us with one dialogue that his wrongdoings destroyed an entire universe. And if you read Doctor Strange comics, you'll see just how much there's left to explore with this character, and I really hope they make the third film all about him. It felt like I'm watching Spider-Man Homecoming, where Tony Stark played the part of the mentor and inspired Peter with a powerful speech. But that was okay, because it was a Spider-Man film. Doctor Strange shouldn't be babysitting in his own film.
I wouldn't say babysitting.
I'm gonna give you a challenge.
He does that in every other movie or series. He's a plot device in any movie he appears outside his own. But he cannot be just that in his own movie. That doesn't make sense. And I also find it a bit messy that Strange literally had to do nothing to find out Wanda is the main villain. Why not play it out where Strange works it out himself in the middle of the movie that Wanda is behind all this? He's a very smart character after all. Why make Wanda bust herself out like that within the first minute she talks to Steven? She's the most wicked and powerful witch in the universe, and she just let it slip that she's behind all this? And I'm actually surprised that we're supposed to mourn for losing all these members of the Illuminati. Yes, we do know these characters from the comics, or the X-Men universe. Some are even our favorite actors reprising their roles. But they're still very new to the MCU, so how is it supposed to make us feel bad about their deaths? There are other ways to show just how dangerous Scarlet Witch is. Maybe show us scenes where she made Steven's life a living hell. That way the plot of the film remains tight and not all over the place. Now please don't get me wrong, this film wasn't that bad at all. I told you, it just lacked a few scenes from becoming another masterpiece. Sam Raimi did a great job as well, with all this incredible visuals and camera work. And Elizabeth Olsen stole every scene she's in. To be really honest, Elizabeth Olsen carried this movie, and she's the reason this movie still works. And that speaks volume. That shows how well written her character was. Scarlet Witch was asking all the right questions, pointing out Steven's hypocrisy. Everything about our character was perfectly written. I know some people aren't happy with the way they turned her into a villain, but you have have to take into account what Scarlet Witch did in the comics. She decimated almost 1 million mutants, and we do need more villains like her. Extremely reasonable while at the same time extremely dangerous. I'm so happy we're able to see Elizabeth Olsen's acting range. She started as a kid in the MCU, became a hero, and now an all-out villain. So there we go, these are the reasons why I have certain issues with this film. It's not the cameos that didn't show up. Those were rumors to begin with. Moon Knight has 0 cameos and it still hits the ball out of the park. I just wish the plot revolved around important characters rather than planting seeds for the future. And I wish the stakes were higher and personal, something more grounded that we as audience would connect to. And that's it. These are my honest opinions about Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I hope this video felt like a conversation between you and me. We are all Marvel fans here. We want them to keep giving us quality movies and series. And trust me, I see Marvel stuff even in my sleep. I sleep and breathe Marvel. And the main reason why I made this video is because I want this message to get across to the higher tops. We know Marvel listens to us, the fans. They have always given us what we want and beyond. And I'm pretty sure it's just the beginning. I'm not out here to spread hate towards this movie. This movie is still great, but it could have been greater. And with that, I'm the Canadian Land, and I hope you had a good time. See you in the next one.